Lame. Let's talk about Bound for Glory, which was also lame, except for the Great War.
Okay. So Bound for Glory opens up with Broken Matt reading a bedtime story of the Great War to King Maxwell.
Which was funny, because Maxwell did not go to bed.
No, he did not. Well, maybe it wasn't a bedtime story, clearly. Could have been an early morning story. I don't know what these people live like. I don't know their lives or day-to-day stuff. They mentioned beasts, titans, and the battles with which they will engage in. Matt ends the segment by asking who will be deleted and who will delete, as it is displayed on the final page of the Great War storybook. So Josh welcomes us to Bound for Glory by saying, "Bound for Glory, we knew you'd come." And we get a solo Trevor Lee out to the ring to take on DJ Z. Trevor Lee looks pretty pissed. DJ Z comes out looking like a male dancer version of Super Shredder from Ninja Turtles. He takes control with some high flying, but Trevor Lee uses the referee, who is a man that I know very well. His name is Stifler, as a distraction, and lands a boot to DJ Z as he comes into the ring to get the heat. DJ Z then comes back with an awesome springboard Hurricane Rana from one rope to another to Trevor Lee, who is sitting on the top rope. Then both guys decide to do a bunch of rehearsed spots, culminating in a Canadian Destroyer and a rolling, leaping DDT, which is the ZDT by DJ Z, for the win to retain the belt.
Saw flashes of brilliance from both guys. I thought the match was good. But what in the hell is with the selling by Trevor Lee? Am I the only one?
I can't even describe it.
This mummy thing where he like backs up on his heels and he does the wide eyes and he puts his arm. It's like a guy parodying a pro wrestler. It's so bad.
It's like a cartoon about to fall off a cliff.
Yeah, he's like an animated caveman.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it's Captain Caveman. I'm going to have to go back and watch.
Not a fan of this Trevor Lee in TNA.
I'm not a fan of these crazy bullshit spots where we can tell that they're clearly rehearsed.
Well, you're in the wrong business then, because that's the direction this is moving. We must accept it.
Am I in the wrong business? Because I fight people, motherfucker.
I guess you're right.
Yeah. Although I guess this is a wrestling show. Shit. Okay. So we have Drew Galloway. I apologize for the MF word directed at you too, Brian.
Apology accepted.
Okay. So we have Drew Galloway in the back with, what's her name? Mackenzie Mitchell, I believe.
Mackenzie Mitchell.
And to say he was pissed would be an understatement. He says he can't wrestle tonight because he's hurt. He asked to postpone the match, but they said no. He says the winner tonight will not be recognized by him. I may also not recognize the winner any longer. And he also said that Billy Corgan is buying TNA because he gets Drew in the sale.
You know what's funny? I know that you review it every week, Tom, and I do listen, but I don't watch the show. And Drew is doing this promo right here, and later in the evening, I'm doing the show with Dave, and as Dave is talking about it, it suddenly hits me that Drew is a heel.
Yeah.
When I watched this was like the biggest babyface promo on the entire show. The guy had been blatantly fucked. He was right about everything. He was determined to get his championship, and I was rooting for him.
With a virtually a broken neck. He's trying to go out there and wrestle.
And I'm supposed to not like the guy?
Yeah.
I honest to God thought that he was a babyface in this promo.
Well, I mean, in a feud against Aron Rex at this point, I would put him as the babyface.
That's true, man. This
Good
Aron Rex.
God. Wait till we get to him, because I may lose it. So next up, we have the 10-man Bound for Gold Gauntlet match. The order of entrance is Jesse Goddard's Rockstar Spud, Braxton Sutter, Eli Drake, Robbie E, Baron Dax, Grado, Basil Baraka, Tyrus, and Mahabali Shira. I wanted to get that out of the way just so you can take a look at the amount of talent that was in this Bound for Gold Gauntlet match to get a title shot. So the order of elimination is Braxton Sutter thrown over the top by Eli Drake, Grado dances down to the ring, walks in. Spud tosses him immediately, and Grado just dances to the back.
Almost shut the show off right there. The
crowd was not
furious texting that I was doing with you during the early part of the show. I should have just tweeted it, but I didn't want to be a dick.
Well, I was ahead of you, and I had not even watched this stuff, so I had to go back and watch it. So I didn't get what you had meant at that point. But the crowd was pissed that Grado came down and got eliminated. I mean, I guess that was good for something. Basile Baracco was eliminated by Robbie E. Robbie E. eliminated by Baron Dax. Baron Dax eliminated by Jesse Goddards. Spud gets thrown out by Tyrus. Maha Billy Shira, thank God, eliminated by Eli Drake.
It's Maha Bali, not Billy.
I think I said Maha Bali.
No, you said Maha Billy. You always do. I've been yelled at for this.
By who?
People.
And was it a Indian?
Dude, you know the people listen to this show. They must have the proper pronunciation in their particular accent and or dialect.
I do not know the people who are listening to this show. Most of them. I met a few, but...
Mahabali Shira.
He ain't listening to the show, so who cares? Eli Drake gets kicked through the ropes by Jesse Goddards, but his toes catch on the ropes, and his body just hangs outside. So his hands are touching, but his feet never touch the floor. Goddards hits a springboard clothesline and a drop kick to almost get Tyrus over, but Eli Drake scurries back in, dumps them both to get the win. He now has a contract that allows him to get a world title shot on 1 week's notice. The Dario Cueto clause.
Sorry, I was yawning.
We then have Jeremy Borash in the back. He claims that there are a number of dignitaries in attendance tonight. He doesn't say who they are, but they do bring in Robert Irvine, who is tonight Mr. Gail Kim. He's interrupted pretty quickly by Mike Bennett and Maria, and Irvine succinctly tells them, tonight, he says, I have a premonition for you. Tonight is going to be a very bad night for you. And then he leaves. Then Mike Bennett cuts a promo on Moose. He then goes down to the ring. He is pissed, but he does have a pineapple on his tights for a reason that is unbeknownst to me. To counter these awesome pineapple tights, Moose is introduced by the 2016 West Orange Warriors high school football team doing the Moose chant. Mike Bennett tries to, early on, he does a flip dive over the top, and I think he tried to decapitate himself on the apron, but unfortunately for him, it did not work. Or I guess fortunately for him. Fortunately for him, it did not work. Moose then grabs him, gives him an F5 body first in the post on the outside, a backdrop still on the outside onto the steps by Mike Bennett, allows him to take over on Moose. He, inside the ring, hits a stiff pile driver. Moose goes for a springboard clothesline, but gets caught with a cutter. There's a counter, and Moose hits the go to hell, top rope sky high maneuver. And then the most convoluted, worst finisher in TNA, the game breaker discus rainmaker for the 1-2-3 win.
I kind of liked it.
You like the match or the finish?
Kind of like the match.
Okay.
I thought it was all right.
The finish sucked.
Well, yeah.
I hate that move.
Wow.
Absolutely hate it. Hate it. So Jeremy Borash interviews Aron Rex in the back about this grand championship. Aron Rex cuts the worst promo I've ever seen him do. I would fire this guy on the spot.
What the hell's going on with this guy?
He is so unmotivated. It's unbelievable. It's like he's one of the few people who probably needs a gimmick. You know, he's better off not being himself, it seems.
Well, you got to remember that before he was Damian Sandow, he had been around for a long time. He had been fired once. He'd had various gimmicks. And literally not a single one got over until he hit on Sandow. And now he's in TNA, and like they got the music, and I guess he's kind of sort of supposed to be Sandow, but not really. Man, he showed me nothing. He was a fella, a little chubby, lame
Excuse
gear.
Me? A little chubby, Bryan?
Oh, the work. I mean, there was nothing resembling anything good in the work. It was, I couldn't even believe this.
He looked like any dude who works in an office. That's what his body looked like.
I know plenty of people that work in offices that look a lot better than this guy.
Well, that's also true. Oof. So, the match was not much better than the promo, let's be honest. Eddie Edwards dominated the majority of the first round with a double leg attempt to the outside through the ropes and a double front kick off the top rope. He wins the round on all three judges' scorecards. Round 2 begins. Eddie Edwards tries to get the jump on Aron Rex, but Rex is not having it, takes him down, lands some ground and pound. He goes after the leg and locks up a seated Indian deathlock submission. And lo and behold, the lights go out in the impact zone. So for the first time in ages, the spotlight is actually on the wrestlers here in TNA. Unfortunately, it was this match, and Rex continued to dominate the round and wins round 2. The lights also came back on in short order. Round 3 begins, and it starts off with Rex with a double leg in the corner, followed up by some good right straights and crosses. Eddie with a leap into the tie clinch, then drops to his back and attempts to drive his knee into Aron Rex's face. Rex is looking for the finish with less than a minute left. Edwards comes back with a flying knee strike, and he and Rex have to be separated after the bell. So we get our first decision here, or I'm sorry, our second decision here in the Grand Championship tournament. The first decision was actually between Drew Galloway and, lo and behold, Eddie Edwards. So we go to the judges' scorecards. It is read as a split decision for Aron Rex. But, of course, in true TNA fashion, they put up the round 3 scorecard at the bottom and give away the winner of the match before they do the announcements.
Crazy. Yeah, I've seen a few of them now, Tom. I'm not a fan. It would have been better as a straight match. Are you sure?
It would have been 15 minutes straight of Aron Rex?
Okay, let me ask you this. Would it not have been better with a finish?
Yeah.
We got an unsatisfying... Let me ask you this question, because I was trying to ask this to Dave, but he was just steamrolling me like crazy. And I mentioned on Observer Live, but you're an actual fighter here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the whole thing with rounds. To me, rounds are as an MMA fan, I'd prefer no rounds. I would prefer you put 2 guys in there and you have them go till there's a winner. Now, obviously, as we saw in some of the early UFCs, we started to have some really long matches, so eventually you're going to have time limits and judges, I guess, but every 5 minutes stopping the action to give the guys a break and then you put them in the ring again, as a fan, I'd rather you just threw 2 asses in the cage and let them go.
Yeah, I mean, in Japan, Ryzen has the 10-minute first round.
10-5-5.
Still.
Yeah.
Yep.
So my point of this is, rounds are something that were added to MMA to make it less barbaric and more of a sport. But in a perfect world, I think to many MMA fans, you wouldn't even have rounds. So the idea that in professional wrestling, which is fake, where you can throw 2 guys in the ring and they just fight until there's a winner, to give a substandard rule set that requires you to take a break every 5 minutes, how could that possibly be an improvement? I mean, I know people say, well, with rounds, you can tell some stories. Yeah, no shit. You can tell stories with a straight wrestling match, too, if you know what you're fucking doing.
Yeah.
I don't like the rounds.
Listen. As far as MMA is concerned, what are we doing? It's 2016. I've mentioned this before.
Why are we fighting? That's a goddamn good question.
We should be beyond this as a society. I mean, come on, people. So we have a Gail Kim Hall of Fame induction. Meant a lot to everyone. Unfortunately, like Awesome Kong said during this presentation, Gail deserves this and so much more. They had Christy Hemme come out, Awesome Kong, Taryn Terrell, and Dixie. And they put a nice video package, talked about how awesome Gail was. She has spent 16 years in the business, an 84% winning percentage in matches, over 2,000 wins. She's the first Knockouts champion. She gives a speech, thanks everybody and their mother and multiple people, multiple times. And a really good segment. People last week talked about how there was real emotion in the Dolph Ziggler and Miz segment. You could tell that this really meant something to Dolph Ziggler. This was talking about his life. And I'm sitting here watching Robert Irvine tear up. And to me, that was more effective than anything that Dolph did to get sympathy from me.
I really like this segment. I liked Robert Irvine weeping in the front row.
I like Robert Irvine. He's opening up a restaurant here at the Tropicana, I believe. I'm going to go there.
Hey.
And I hope him and Gail Kim are there so I can tell her how big of a fan I am.
When Jeremy Borash was on screen and he said, we have some luminaries here tonight, including this man, Robert Irvine, Food Network or whatever. I was like, Borash, you undersold this fucker. This guy's a big star. I went to Vegas. His head is on the side of the MGM.
No, it's on the Tropicana.
Tropicana, whatever. But it's like 80 feet high. Bigger.
It's not his actual head.
Well, of course not. But the point is, this guy's a big-ass star.
Yeah, he is. Good segment. The Great War. Hardys versus the Decay. Rebby opens it up. She is great playing the piano on the ivory keys. This brings out Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy. Huge pop, as you can imagine, for both guys. Decay comes out. They begin the match. To begin, Decay hits a triple mist on Rebby to get her basically out of the way so they can continue on the match. Decay takes over. Rosemary hits a coast-to-coast drop kick on Matt, a la Shane McMahon and RVD. Then this kind of broke down. There was globs and globs of insanity. I'm not sure that my notes can even do it justice whatsoever. I'll mention some things that happened. Bryan, feel free to jump in whenever you want. They broke down in the back, and my man, Stifler, was beaten up and taken out as he was the ref in this match. This will actually play into something a little bit later on. So Stifler's taken out. There's a lot of pre-taped scenes in the back. In a scene reminiscent of the movie Little Nicky, starring Adam Sandler, Crazy Steve hits Jeff in the face with a shovel and then throws some water on him. Jeff disappears. Pumpkins come flying in at Crazy Steve. And then Jeff's new character appears and beats Steve's ass. What's this guy's name, Brian? It's Weed? It's something Weed?
Oh, I can't remember. Switchweed.
He was going absolutely insane.
Is it Switchweed?
I don't know. He had like some backwoods accent, and he was talking 1,000 words per minute. It was unbelievable. Matt and Abyss are squared off. So it's Jeff and Steve are fighting. Matt and Abyss are fighting. Semper Vivi shows up as Abyss has Matt on the ropes, beaten up. Semper Vivi comes back from when they stole his truck a few weeks ago.
Itchweed.
Itchweed.
I tried to Google Jeff Hardy weed, and that was a mistake.
What came up? I'm curious.
Just, you can imagine.
I can't. But anyways, like I said, for
10 WWE superstars who smoke weed. 10 WWE superstars who love smoking weed. TNA stars hanging out and smoking weed. Does Jeff Hardy smoke weed? I don't know the answers to these questions. That's just what came up on Google.
Okay. Like I said for the 10th time now, Semper Vivi showed up. I think that's what Semper Vivi looks like, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen any. I've not seen any recent pictures of Semper Vivi, but he has made claims.
This guy was wearing a hat, and he had a beard, so that's close enough for me. He wants a piece of Abyss for some reason. He didn't get enough last time, but Rosemary boots him in the nuts, tosses him into a bush. Jeff then transforms into Willow, which gets a huge pop, which blew my mind. Vanguard 1 shows up, Miss Rosemary, I believe, in the face. There was so much stuff going on. I obviously, like I said earlier, I can't do it all justice. They come back to the ring. Everyone is pissed. Abyss breaks out his little bag of thumbtacks. Matt gives Abyss a side effect onto the thumbtacks on top of a barbed wire board, sandwiches him in between two boards, comes off with a leg drop, makes the cover for the pin. The ref counts 1, 2. Rosemary slides in. The ref stops counting, and it was at this point I noticed I trained with this ref, too. This is Scott. You gotta be kidding me. I swear to God, this is Scott. That's his name, Scott. Referee.
Man.
Yes.
Small world.
Yeah. So I noticed that as he botched the the plan there, Rosemary slid in and didn't get a hold of Matt, but the referee stopped counting anyways. Rebby comes back out, power bombs Rosemary through a table. Matt then invites Brother Nero to indulge in your addiction for one night only. And Jeff climbs a ladder, gives Steve a swanton bomb off the top of the ladder through 2 tables, almost kills himself. And they win the tag team titles as the crowd goes nuts, chanting delete, obsolete, delete, obsolete. There's a King Maxwell chant as he enters the ring from the crowd. Just an awesome 30 minutes.
I loved every moment of it. I sat there and watched it from start to finish. No running commentary. I just got to enjoy it. I loved it. It was my favorite of the 3. I will actually say that here today. It was my favorite one of the 3. Thought it was so great. Everybody was a star. I've totally turned the corner on Crazy Steve. I love Abyss. Matt and Jeff are awesome. It was so creative. Like, the backstage stuff, I should hate it, but I don't. I love it. I don't even know why.
It was like a WWE hardcore match, hardcore title match around like 2000.
Yeah, but better.
Think about the love that people, I know I do, have for that old hardcore division with the 24/7 rules. People absolutely love that shit. Seeing Crash Holly get a pinfall in a ball pit. I mean, is it any surprise that wrestling fans want more of this? I don't think so.
I loved it.
It was great. So, then we had Gail Kim defeating Maria with she did the eat defeat. I don't know if it actually hit, but she won with it. She defeated Maria after hitting the eat defeat. Before that, she gave her double birds and a slap. Got the pinfall, wins the Knockouts title. During the match, basically at the beginning, Maria came down. She tried to say that she was not, in fact, cleared to wrestle, and she had a doctor's note. But Allie said, no, Miss Maria. The doctor said you are cleared to wrestle, and you're okay. So Maria was then chased around the ring by Gail Kim, which I guess signifies to the ref to start the match. He didn't even check to see what kind of document Maria and Allie had a hold of. It could have said she was not cleared to wrestle, but we'll never know. So during the match, Allie tried to give Maria the cast that she was wearing on her hand, but she overthrew it. Gail got it, threw it out of the ring. Gail Kim is up on the top rope. Mike Bennett comes out to interfere. Like, dude, it's a woman's match. You're really that big of a jerk? You're going to come out and interfere and push a woman around during this Knockouts title match? Come on. So, yeah, that was it. That's the match. Who cares?
There was not much to it.
Yeah. Then after this, after Maria is defeated and Robert Irvine was in fact correct, not a good night for them, he goes on a tirade, says he's shutting down Bound for Glory like somebody should have done a long time ago, and there's not a damn person who can stop him. But the crowd realized there was somebody who could stop him as they started to chant for Cody. This brings out Cody and Brandi Rhodes, who clear the ring of Bennett and Maria. Cody hit the beautiful disaster kick. Brandi Rhodes was slapped by Maria and then took, 5 seconds to hit one knee to send Maria through the ropes. Very, very strong tie clinch game here from Brandi Rhodes.
Oh, yeah?
Well, one knee took Maria out. Maria was just in a match with Gail Kim. Gail Kim could barely do anything to her.
Pretty good debut, but they debuted him in the death spot.
That debut sucked.
Come on. It was all right.
You thought it was good?
I said it was pretty good. I didn't say it was great.
Here. Listen, I read the spoilers. Spoiler alert. Cody is getting a title match down the road. Why didn't he just win this damn Bound for Gold Gauntlet and then give him the title match? I mean, come on.
Actually, that's a very good question that I don't have an answer for.
Yeah, well, I guess Eli Drake, there will be some storyline with him, which would be the answer as why not to do it, but that would have been a much more effective use of Cody, would have gotten him more over. Perhaps, I guess TNA doesn't have him under contract, so why would you want to put him over? Anyways, we have the main event, EC3 versus Lashley for the TNA World title. They do in-ring introductions before the match. Lashley spears EC3 during the introductions. During the match, Lashley hits multiple spears, a lot of big power moves, cannot put EC3 away. He goes for a torture rack, but EC3 counters, and it has been confirmed. I will confirm it based on this maneuver here. He counters a torture rack into my finisher, the $100,000 Dream, proving he's a big fan of Tom Lawler's, but he can't get the tap out. I'll have to work with him on that maneuver. The match continues on. EC3 hits a 1%er. He hits a spear. Can't get the win. Eventually, Lashley hits a spear off of the second rope to get the 3 count, pin, and retain the world title.
Just a match.
Yeah.
Felt like a random television match, and not even like a title match. Just felt like a random, here's 2 big dudes that are going to wrestle, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, after the Great War, things kind of calmed down a little bit. And how could they not? How could you follow such a thing?
You couldn't. It should have been the main event.
Yeah, it really should have.
I did, in fact, purchase and watch TNA Bound for Glory.
So, I know nothing about this show. Now that it's over, does TNA still exist?
Yeah.
Damn it.
And I thought at the very least, they would announce at the beginning and or end of the show that somebody had bought it, but nothing. It is a mystery who paid for this.
The past 15 years of this company has been a mystery.
I'll tell you one thing, it was not me. Now, the pay-per-view was whatever. There was some stuff on it that was just cringeworthy embarrassing to me. Some stuff was good. And then there was the Great War. If I weren't limited on time today, Vinny, I would have made you go in and watch the Great War. I think I may have liked it the best of all 3 that we've seen so far.
Really?
God, it was so good. And so many callbacks. God, it was great. The Hardys won the tag team titles.
Yay. So Jeff's not dead.
And they have won the Great War for now.
At the end of Delete or Decay, it appeared Jeff Hardy had been killed.
No, Jeff Hardy's alive.
Oh, good.
And the guy that the Decay, remember they stole his truck?
Yeah, and raped him.
Cameo appearance. He returned.
Did he get his truck back?
Well, he showed up in his truck, so he must have got it back. But he was promptly, his ass was beaten.
At least he was only beaten this time.
It was great. God, it was great. That saved the show for me on so many levels. It was so good. I sat there the whole time, huge smile on my face, all by myself, by the way. Nobody came over. My wife vacated the room. You were in another room watching another pay-per-view. It was sad. All right. Impact. Very quickly, you have any thoughts on all of the debt that TNA owes and the future of this company and this whole rigmarole from the past 2 weeks?
Sucks. I mean, I was looking forward to getting a
compelling insight.
I was looking forward to getting a tag team partner and going after Matt Hardy in this total nonstop deletion, but geez, I don't even know if it's going to happen now.
It'll happen.
What the hell do you want me to say, Brian? What do you want me to say?
They could afford that.
Oh, this is a shit show.
It is. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, deplorable. Just sell the damn company, do the right thing, let some people keep their jobs instead of stretching this shit out and making it just a total clusterfuck. I mean, now they're going to have to file for bankruptcy. Everything's going to be all screwed up. Billy Corgan is going to be pissed off. He's going to be wearing an even more ridiculous outfit than he was wearing on Impact this past week.
Did you hear Observer Live today?
No, I don't listen to any other shows.
Give me a break.
I listen to Dave Meltzer.
Did you hear today's show or not?
No, I just told you no.
You fucker. Point of this is, they're already booking dates for January.
Where?
They're booking TV tapings, like at the Impact Zone.
Well, maybe they know something we don't.
No, they don't. Patently obvious.
Maybe they know less than we do.
She's pretending like nothing's happening as they go further and further into debt and doom. It's amazing. Take us through this Impact show.
No.
Boy, am I going to call you out on Observer Live tomorrow.
I won't be listening. Oh, wait, what is it? It's Thursday. Dave will be on, so I will be listening.
Wow. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So we have Impact from last Thursday. Now, real quick, because we've missed a week, there's a lot of stuff went on in that previous week, including Eddie Edwards out of nowhere defeating Bobby Lashley to win the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So Lashley was given a choice of people to face, and he picked Eddie Edwards because Eddie Edwards was the worst out of those three people. And then Eddie Edwards defeats him with the Boston Knee Party clean in the middle of the ring. So I think it was June or July, after I was given the task of watching Impact, I read an article that Jeremy Borash had put up stating it was about Eddie Edwards and his future. And I said, Eddie Edwards is going to get a good push, and I think he's going to be the champion. And guess what? 6 months later, I was right.
Man.
So, Eddie Edwards comes out. He's not pissed. But Lashley is. And Lashley hits the ring, and he is so pissed that he does not waste any time tackling Eddie Edwards and beating his ass, including the old school double-handed rape choke on the mat. So he goes outside. He has Eddie Edwards beat up, goes to grab a chair, but Moose, and my boy EC3 hit the ring to chase him off. So next up, Aron Rex is in the house, and he is coming out of the ring. Can't really tell if he's pissed, but he looks like he is. He may just have angry eyebrows, not sure. They cut to the back, and it is the Tribunal of Baron Dax and Basil Baraka, not to be confused with Baraka from Mortal Kombat fame. They want to talk to Billy Corgan, and they are asking a gentleman who is dressed up like a complete moron where Billy Corgan is. This man is Aidan O'Shea, who has been hired as Billy Corgan's bodyguard, I believe. Aidan O'Shea is working for him, and he says that, guys, if I were you, I wouldn't be looking for Billy Corgan. Aren't you guys on the chopping block around here? And I thought to myself, isn't everyone on the chopping block around there? So we cut again backstage, and Billy Corgan is in, I think he's dressed up in like one of those Halloween cow costumes with the udder and the bell and a hat. I mean, he looked awful. He tells Lashley won't get his immediate rematch because of his attack on Eddie Edwards, and that tonight there will be a match, and then Lashley will face the winner of tonight's match next week to determine who will face the champion. So Borash asks he asked Billy Corgan, who's in the main event, and Billy Corgan says that he's going to go figure it out right now. So then we have Aron Rex back in the ring. So for some reason, he entered, and then we went to 2 segments as he stood in the ring. Aron Rex versus Jesse Goddard, the former captain of his high school wrestling team, Jesse Goddard, for the Grand Championship. Goddard's whipping that ass for 2 rounds, out-wrestling and out-maneuvering Aron Rex. Aron Rex goes for every small package in history in round 2, but cannot get the finish. Rex is losing handily, but in the 3rd round gets Goddard's outside, sits on the ropes, holds it open for him. As Goddard goes to get in, he ambushes him with a kick, hits the ropes, hits his 360 punch, the Revelator, for the 3-count win to retain the title. So Aron Rex already starting to turn heel here about a month after his phenomenal debut. Next, we get Lashley leaving Billy Corgan's office, and amazingly, Lashley has a smile on his face. He is not pissed for the first time in TNA history. Next, we go to a pre-tape segment of the Broken Hardys, where Jeff is claiming he has repaid his debt to Matt by winning the tag team titles, and he wants to climb ladders. But Matt will not indulge him in his addiction. We go once again backstage where Allie is informing Maria that her crew of female helpers, Sienna, Allie, and Laurel Van Ness, is banned. They are banned from ringside during Maria's match later on tonight with Gail Kim, and Maria is pissed, even though she's not heading down to the ring, and she berates Allie. Then we have EC3 and Moose in the back. Now, Bryan, one of my good friends, one of my best friends, is a college football coach. And this upcoming week, they have a game. And they are playing against Syracuse. And no joke, they cut to the backstage, and it's EC3 and Moose having a conversation. And what Moose says was, man, I can't watch Syracuse football anymore. They absolutely suck. I swear to God that happened.
Oh, I wasn't listening.
No surprise.
I'm just kidding. Wow, did you write that line for him?
No, but I did record it and send it to my friend immediately. I was blown away. And I was literally just in Syracuse last week on campus. I went to a place called Funkin' Waffles.
Funkin' Waffles?
Funkin' Waffles, yeah. It was all right. So Lashley comes and interrupts their conversation, and I don't even know what he said, but basically insinuated that these two aren't going to like what's going to happen later on tonight. So the foreshadowing has happened, and it will be EC3 and Moose facing each other for the winner to face Lashley next week, and then the winner will get a title shot at Eddie Edwards. We come to the ring, and we have the Broken Hardys, who are not pissed. This promo is filled with chants of obsolete, delete, Matt cackling, ha ha ha, ha ha ha, like one of his spot monkeys. Matt has had a premonition that they will find their next opponents tonight. They go and celebrate on the ropes, and the Tribunal, who reveal themselves to be quite pissed, come out and attack them from behind and then split. So it looks like we have our next championship feud. The Tribunal, fresh off a feud with Mahabali Shera and Grado, will be taking on the Broken Hardys, the most over act in TNA against the Hardys. So next we have Mike Bennett and Cody promo, where Cody essentially calls Bennett a bitch. These are pre-tape promos. Bennett says that all roads lead to nowhere. Then we have the match between Mike Bennett and Cody. Cody wins. Pretty good match with a crossroads. Solid action throughout. Maria distracted Cody a few times, which allowed Bennett to get the brief advantage. Cody hit a pretty nice step-up dive to the outside. Mike Bennett with a draping DDT on the outside. Bennett also hit a pedigree during the match, which Cody survived. So Cody wins clean in the middle of the ring. This was one of the better matches on Impact in a while, actually. Maybe the best match on the show. Next up, we have Marshe Rocket versus DJZ. So Marshe Rocket is a 6'4", 250-pound X Division guy. So he's kind of chubby, a little bit chubby. So why is there a fat X Division guy?
Dude.
All of a sudden, after Bobby Lashley just wrecked the entire X Division because of his size and ability, they bring in this fat X Division guy. So he throws his weight around before DJZ eventually hits the ZDT for the win. And I'm left wondering, why again? Why did I watch this? I guess Marshe Rocket is working for the Helms Dynasty, which he mentioned in his pre-match promo, but they were nowhere to be found. And really, he didn't even get a whole lot of offense in. Didn't look too impressive. And then DJZ just won. It was also in this match, I think, that I noticed TNA has a breast cancer awareness month theme going on. And unlike the WWE, which has I believe the middle rope, at least on SmackDown, was pink, TNA has my friend Stifler wearing a pink armband, and they have affixed some pink bow tie ribbons to the guardrails on the outside.
That's a nice gesture.
It is, but it's hokey. It just comes off low rent. When you see that, you see the WWE doing it, and then you see ribbons on guardrails, and it just, I don't know. So we have Allie, Maria, and Mike Bennett backstage. Allie says that earlier she was not able to read the full email to Maria because Maria cut her off, and that also Mr. Mike Miracle is banned from ringside tonight as well. So then we go to Maria versus Gail Kim, which is no DQ hardcore match. They're using a lot of foreign objects, but none of the fun kind. And Gail hits the Eat Defeat using a cane to the face of Maria. She then picks her up after the 2 count. hits another Eat Defeat using the trash can lid and then pins her for the 3. So, Gail Kim, congratulations on your win. Can't wait to eat at your restaurant here at the Tropicana. EC3 and Eli Drake argue backstage. Then we go to Cody talking to Eddie Edwards, and Cody wants a world title shot at Eddie Edwards, and Eddie Edwards agrees. Cody will get that world title shot next week. So we go to the main event of Impact, which is Moose versus EC3. EC3 comes out. I think he's on the horse meat diet. It's a good match that the crowd died for at the end. I think they were having a little bit of a problem following the two faces fighting it out dynamic. Either that or they seem to be pro-Moose in some parts. So EC3 goes for the 1%er, but Moose is able to get out, push him away, and then hit his spinning game breaker clothesline to the back of the head to get the 1, 2, 3 and pin EC3 clean. So this is, I believe, what it would be, the 3rd time, maybe 4th time in history that EC3 has been pinned clean.
It's only been a few times.
Yeah.
And to the Moose.
Bennett, Lashley, and Moose are the 3 that I can remember. They may be the only ones to pin him at all, clean or not. So they didn't mention that in the commentary that I heard either. So during the match, they hit all their big moves. Great drop kick spots by Moose. Good drop kick where he hit EC3 up on the top rope, and then EC3 came back with a drop kick of his own off the rope. EC3 was he was a lot more mobile here, moving around a lot better. I really enjoyed this match. So Moose also hit a pop-up powerbomb, senton combo. Each guy had some really good offense. But this match was good. Like I said, better than I expected. And Moose faces Lashley next week to determine the number 1 contender. So, of course, Lashley comes down to the ring pissed. And they have a face-off to end the show. Wow. All right. Well, let's get down to it. We have Impact from last Thursday, and we definitely had a video package that I'm not going to review that there was at the beginning. We're playing last week's show. So we have Cody out to the ring, amazingly not pissed. Tells a story that when he was growing up, when he was 15, he wanted to wrestle, and his dad said he could as long as he was the best. So it doesn't matter if it's a 6-sided ring or a 4-sided ring. The goal is to be the world champion. So Eddie Edwards comes out, and he is pissed that Cody thinks that Cody is going to defeat him, but he's not really upset. He's just pissed about that. So they have some words, and then Lashley comes down to the ring, and Lashley is undeniably pissed. So he says he will beat either guy. And then another pissed off man comes out to take on Bobby Lashley, and that is Moose. So Moose comes down, and we have Bobby Lashley versus Moose in the opening match. Cody and Eddie just left. But they will have a match later on tonight for the TNA Impact World Championship. So Lashley versus Moose. Lashley manhandles Moose right off the bat with a vertical suplex, but Moose pops right up. Moose then hits a huge dive over the top rope and a pop-up spine buster, but can only get a 2 count. Lashley counters Moose's game breaker clothesline with a spine buster of his own, which the Pope refers to as a dominator, which is not the same move. Moose then gets superplexed off the top by Lashley and pops right up again, hits a spear on Lashley, but only for a 2 count. Lashley counters another game breaker clothesline with a spear, but he only gets 2 as well. Moose posts Lashley as he goes for another spear, hits the game breaker. Lashley kicks out. Moose tries to hit the go to hell top rope sky high, but Lashley pushes him off. He's on the second rope, and I am damn sure, tries to break his own neck with a second rope spear, but he hits it and gets the 3 count win. So it's the same finish, if you remember, from Bound for Glory, where Lashley jumped off the second rope and speared EC3 and almost killed himself. Did it again here. But he pulled out the win.
Congratulations, Bobby Lashley.
Yeah. Now, this also made me think, I'm assuming the reason TNA maybe had Eddie Edwards win in the first place was to make sure that Bobby Lashley wasn't defending his title in Bellator in case he lost. That's
I think he's fought as champion once before.
Yeah.
And if he hasn't, who cares? Of all of their problems, Jesus.
The one thing that they do a very good job of throughout this show is that whenever Lashley has the mic, he refers to the matches that are happening as fights. He brings up a point later on, talking to Eddie Edwards, that, look, this happens in fights all the time. Guys get upset wins, and then the next match, they're right back to losing. So Lashley is the man. We have the Tribunal cutting a promo in the back with Jeremy Borash, where Baron Dax is spitting incessantly into the camera. Thankfully, screen goes fuzzy, and the internet hacking group Anonymous is on the screen saying that they will be here soon. So we have Eli Drake with a Fact of Life segment. He has a setup on the side of the, what is it now? The Anthemtron. A little set there, and he makes a rare Seinfeld reference on a wrestling show talking about the Kavorka. Now, the Kavorka is what Kramer had one time that was attracting all the women to him. So Eli Drake apparently has the same affliction. Kavorka translates in Latvian, or from Latvian, to the lure of the animal. So, there you go, Brian. Aron Rex is Eli Drake's guest. Eli has his dummy yeah button, a cringe-worthy laugh track. So Aron Rex cuts a semi-heel promo, and he and Eli Drake are starting to see eye to eye. Then he asks Eli Drake about EC3. And Eli goes into a tirade, cuts down EC3. EC3 comes out, and to say he's pissed would be an understatement. He challenges EC3 to hit... EC3 challenges Eli Drake to hit the dummy yeah button, which he's been doing the whole segment. Eli Drake hits the button. EC3 charges the set. Rex gets in the way. EC3 hits him. Rex and Eli Drake double team EC3 until Jesse Goddard comes in to make the save, Ricky Vaughn style. That one's not going to register with you, I would imagine. Yeah. That's the sound that the fastball makes when Wild Thing throws it as well.
Cool.
So, Rebby version Elvira is playing the Pearly Whites on the piano as Broken Matt comes out and cackles. He calls out the nefarious brother Nero, who comes down and begins to sing his entrance song. However, this time he directs it at the Tribunal. So as Rebby plays the keys, the nefarious brother Nero sings, what is it? They'll fade away and classify themselves as obsolete. Obsolete. So the Tribunal comes down for their title shot, and they are pissed. They get the jump on Matt right away, but they don't do much to impress the fans or myself with their offense. Eventually, Matt and Jeff go back and forth, hitting a bunch of twist of fates. They win by pin. The lights go out. There's a 3, 2, 1 countdown. Lights come back on, and Anonymous are now in the ring, however, putting the boots to the Tribunal as Matt and Jeff look on from the Anthemtron, underneath the Anthemtron. So then we go to the back, and Allie is in the mirror practicing her breakup speech with Maria, letting Maria know that she is not going to stand up for what's been happening to her anymore. Braxton Sutter comes in looking a bone, but Laurel Van Ness comes out of nowhere, pulls the old
looking to bone.
Yeah, and then Laurel Van Ness comes in and cockblocks him and suggests that her and Braxton Sutter should be workout partners instead, because apparently in TNA's universe, Allie is ugly. I don't know. Then we get another...
She can't be the damn champion then, so that solves that problem.
She already was the champion, if you remember correctly, a few weeks ago. She won the belt. She defeated Sienna.
No wonder this company can't compete with WWE.
Yeah, their champions aren't that good looking. I mean, Eddie Edwards is a clean-cut guy. Nice little faux hawk, I guess. Not too bad. Anyways, Anonymous is in the back. They're here to stay. Lashley and
Dude,
Mr.
are they really called Anonymous? Are you fucking with me?
I'm fucking with you.
Okay.
I don't know that they've given them a name yet, but they're dressed like Anonymous.
Okay.
The hacking group. So Lashley, because, we see Anonymous running around in the streets all the time. So they're dressed exactly like them. But Lashley and Mr. Cody, as he refers to him, have a spat backstage. Lashley promises their paths will cross again in the future, setting up a match. This was a good back and forth little promo. Very natural, nothing contrived, so good stuff. For some reason, they replay Gail's win over Maria last week. Then Maria comes down to the ring, pissed off, flanked by Laurel Van Ness and Allie. Maria and Laurel blame Allie for virtually everything that has happened bad to Maria over the past few months. Allie finally stands up for herself, and as she does, Laurel jumps her from behind and beats her ass. Then Maria makes a match for next week between Laurel and Allie, even though on commentary and throughout the show, they have mentioned Maria no longer has any power over the Knockouts division. Josh says she is using what little power she has left over her assistant to force her to have a match. I don't know how this stuff works. I don't have an assistant. I'm pretty sure you can't just make your assistant wrestle somebody if they don't want to.
Well, you can try.
You can try, and I guess if you succeed because the person is so weak-minded,
if they're a dimwit,
shit. All right. So then in the back, Lashley is creeping up on Eddie Edwards. Tells Eddie Edwards that he's going to lose tonight. Like I said earlier, happens all the time. A big underdog wins in a big upset, then loses the next fight. It's all right. Lashley will get the title back. He knows it. Eddie Edwards not happy. They get in each other's face, and it feels as if they actually want to fight. Like, I believe these two guys want to fight over this belt. And as Lashley walks away, Eddie Edwards stares at him.
You believe that Eddie Edwards was ready to fight Bobby Lashley?
He convinced me.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
He did. Yeah. Well, I mean, you heard him howl. I wouldn't get in the guy's way. Yeah. So, again, we're in the back. And Tyrus has a new client by the name of Mahabali Shera. So Tyrus, the fixer, is going to fix Mahabali Shera. Ironically, the first thing he tells him is, no more dancing. No more dancing from you. He also tells him, I'm going to see if you have what it takes, and I have set up a match with you tonight. And I can't remember exactly what he said, but it made it quite apparent to me. Oh, he asked him, he said, you're gonna have a match tonight. We'll see if you truly believe. So that leads me to believe he would have a match against the Miracle, and damn it, I was right. But in between that, EC3 and Jesse Goddards challenged Aron Rex and Eli Drake to a match next week in the back. And then apparently they just made the match on commentary. So we go to the ring. Mahabali Shera takes on Mike Bennett. I counted the offense in this match. Shera did 5 body slams, a splash in the corner, and a bear hug. Mike Bennett rakes his eyes, hit his finisher, and pinned him.
Sounds amazing.
Hey, no one got hurt. You could tell watching Mike Bennett, he was going to do as little as possible in this match in order to make sure that his life stayed intact. And good for him, it did. So for some reason, they replay 6 minutes of the previous Moose and Lashley.
Deep breath, Tom. Deep breath.
I feel like Lashley after one round. They replay 6 minutes of the Moose-Lashley match from before, and then Moose cuts a promo. So I don't know what the point of that was. We have DJZ down ringside.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So they played 6 minutes of a match they'd showed earlier in the evening.
Correct.
And they also replayed Gail Kim's title win and or loss in its entirety.
Correct. Here's my guess. Is it because I actually?
I'm gonna tell you my guess.
Oh, wait, but what about me first? Because I saw it and then I had a guess of my own. How about I'll text you my guess.
No, just tell me your guess, then I'll tell you mine.
I bet you it's the same guess.
No, I guarantee it's not because you didn't listen to the show today. Go ahead.
Damn it. The Storm. It was the Storm. Oh.
I don't know if this is what happened, but it did come out in the hearing today that when they claimed that they had done all of the, I guess, so basically you are, I guess technically I could say that you may be right about this, but now that I think about it. So they supposedly taped all the way through the end of the year, but they didn't. And I guess it would be because of the Storm. But they were going to go back and tape November 1st through 3rd, but they have no money. And Corgan isn't paying for it. And so those tapings have been canceled. And so they are going to have to, I'm sure, fill up 3 days worth of shows between now and the end of the year with a bunch of replays.
Yeah. By the way, hey, Matt Hardy, if you're listening, I'll be in that tag team gauntlet. If you want some people there, I'll show up at your damn house. I'll fly myself there. Beat the crap out of. I'll beat up all those spot monkeys. Every single one of them. I'll fight them all. In the cage. I'm a cage fighter. This
was not stated explicitly today in the hearing, but my strong suspicion is that the Hardys have not been paid. And so I am skeptical that they're going to be filming on their compound. But I could be wrong.
I'll show up with a camera.
Okay.
Compounds. You think they're moving? They're not going anywhere.
Well, they ain't going anywhere.
I will fight all of those spot monkeys in a cage. Every single one of them. Hell in a Cell, triple tier cage match, whatever the hell that WCW thing was. Me versus all those monkeys, all 5 or 6 of them. Let's do it.
Wow. All right, continue on.
I'll fight a fucking bear. Anyways. DJ Z with Mackenzie Mitchell down by the ring talking about the Team X Gold, the upcoming big Team X Gold tournament. Can't wait to see this Team X Gold matches and see what they're all about because I have no earthly idea. They never really say what it is. Spud comes down. They have some words. It appears this is a 6-man tag team tournament of sorts. Right. So, okay, we have Impact from last Thursday, and the show opens up with a video package from the Hardy Compound Pumpkin Patch. Not much happening here. But, Bryan, I would say, much like most of the Delete or Decay or Final Deletion style vignettes that the Hardy Boys do, you should go out of your way, actually, to watch the one from this week. So then we go to the Impact Zone, and we have EC3 and Jesse Goddard's taking on Eli Drake and Aron Rex to open us up. So the match begins. Believe me, they're all pissed coming down in the ring. No doubt about it. Goddard's basically out-wrestles both of the heels, except for a point where he and Eli Drake botched a clothesline spot right before an EC3 hot tag. So not sure, as I'm watching this match, if it's the size difference of the guys that Aron Rex is now wrestling or not, but he appears like it appears like he has not worked out since he was in the WWE. I'm not sure if it's just something I didn't notice before because he was actually smaller than some of the guys he was wrestling, or if it's, because he hasn't worked out. So anyways, he hits the elbow of distinction, no longer the elbow of disdain. Bryan, did I mention everyone was pissed before this match?
I believe you may have mentioned that, yeah.
Okay, well, they continue to be pissed. The heels get the heat on EC3 for a bit before Goddard's gets a hot tag. Then the heels get the heat on Goddard's again. So Goddard's whiffs on a drop kick to Eli Drake, who's on the top rope. Rex comes in. He rakes Goddard's eyes with something, which we cannot see what it is. Then he hits a punch. Goddard's drops. Aron Rex covers him and pins him for the 3 count. So Josh Matthews on commentary has to explain that something happened here, but we don't know what it was. He raked his eyes with something and then hit him with something, but we can't see what it is. Let's go to the replay. They go to the replay, and you can't tell what the hell's going on. You can tell that Rex has his fingers in Goddard's eyes and then punches him. The explanation is that Aron Rex has rings on underneath his taped fingers, and somehow that is getting by the referee, and he is using those to his advantage.
Well, this referee sucks at his job then.
It was Stifler.
Because Stifler is supposed to check the opponent's hands, fingers, wrists, knees, ankles, etc. Apparently he's doing a bad job at it.
Maybe he should have checked his belly button.
Sure.
So we go to the back end. Grado is telling Jeremy Borash that he's going to dress up for Halloween, but he will not divulge in what costume. So we have a return to the Hardy compound in a trick-or-treat style vignette. We have a bunch of trick-or-treaters coming up to the door of Matt Hardy's house. So Peter Pan is the first one up, and Matt asks him, "Oh, I love your costume. You must be Stephen Amell from The Arrow." But no, it was Peter Pan. The kids want some candy, but Matt, in fact, will not let the kids eat candy. Instead, he gives them green beans. Bryan, why would you think that Matt Hardy would give the kids green beans instead of candy?
Because growing up, I absolutely hated green beans.
Well, that doesn't make sense. I mean, it makes sense that you hated them, but why would he be giving them out?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, he does provide an explanation, and it's a good one, because he says, look, kids, candy can make you a fat Hardy, and no one likes a fat Hardy.
Is that what it was?
I swear to God he said that. So we go back to the ring, and Grado comes out and says, look, I'm going to introduce the best wrestler in the world. The man with the world's best hip toss, Robbie E. So Robbie E comes out, kind of confused, says, what the hell is going on here? Grado says, look, I want to be you for Halloween. I want to be a bro man. So Grado gets some cheers going for Halloween during some tapings that happened a month before Halloween. He then disappears behind the Aeroluxtron and reappears wearing tiny broman style shorts. He has spray tan on his face, but not on his body. He and Robbie E dance down to the ring. Robbie E's starting to get into it. Just as they're in the ring doing their thing, the lights go out and Anonymous appears, and they lay waste to Robbie E and Grado. And then you can hear one lady in the crowd yell, "Show yourselves!" But they do not oblige. So we have Allie walking into an empty arena during a vignette from earlier today. And, oh God, Billy Corgan's bodyguard yells out to Allie, "Hey, Toots!" And Allie looks to the left. She is starstruck by what she sees. And it's Billy Corgan sitting around in a striped hoodie. So Allie goes over to Billy, and I swear to God, he pulls back his hood like he's Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars. Like you're going to reveal some great being underneath. But it's just bald Billy Corgan. So they talk about the match, which Allie has scheduled for later tonight. And Billy says, look, you know Maria doesn't have control over the knockouts anymore. You don't have to do this match. Allie says, look, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get my ass beat, but I'm going to do it anyways because I need to stand up for myself. And so the match is on. They shake hands. Allie, great at playing her character. Absolutely awesome. Next up, we have a match between DJZ, Braxton Sutter, and Mandrews, who are collectively known as Team Go for Broke, and they are facing Spud in a Team X Gold match. Now, last week, we were told about the Team X Gold matches, but we have no clue what they actually are. I still don't know, even after watching this match. So, DJZ, Sutter, and Mandrews come out, and Sutter inexplicably is carrying a flag with an X on it, Team X Gold on the flag, but they don't mention what the fuck it is. Spud comes out to face them with his mystery partners, and Spud introduces Decay as his mystery partners. So now I'm really confused, because Abyss certainly would not be mistaken for an X Division wrestler. I wouldn't even put Crazy Steve in that category at this point because he's like quite a bit bigger than some of these guys now. Match is nothing. The faces win. Team Go for Broke wins after a ZDT to Rockstar Spud. And no clue, no earthly idea what Team X Gold is. I mean, I don't know if the winner gets to hold around this flag. They get to carry the flag around. Is it just 6-man matches? I have no earthly idea. Cody and Brandi Rhodes are being interviewed as they're walking backstage. Cody says that Mike Bennett is not a miracle at all. He's just smoke and mirrors. And Brandi threatens Maria. The main event tonight will be a mixed tag team match with those two teams. So Borash is in the ring hosting an Eddie Edwards and Lashley super fight contract signing. So Lashley and Eddie Edwards are pissed at each other. Lashley admits that he took Edwards lightly in the past. Edwards threatens to slap him and then grabs the contract and signs it. Edwards asks Lashley, what are you going to do if you lose again? Will the people just see you as my bitch? This incenses Bobby Lashley as he flips the table because he is beyond pissed. He grabs the contract, makes the super fight official. So then we have a replay of last week's knockout segment with Allie and Maria's crew. Then Laurel Van Ness approaches Braxton Sutter in the back, and she tries to steal Allie's man once again. Braxton Sutter has been giving Allie wrestling lessons on the down low. I'm not even sure if they brought that up, but that's a spoiler. So maybe it's not a spoiler, maybe it is. I don't know. So we go back to the Hardys compound, and somebody rings the doorbell. And you don't see who it is, but you see Matt and Jeff reminiscing. You look pretty familiar, but man, that is an awful costume. Just get out of here. The camera turns, and it's Hurricane Helms at the door. So they shush him away. And then Matt says that Jeff is not even in costume, right? Where's your costume? So Jeff disappears and reappears at the door as Itchweed with 3 E's. So comes out, hey man, what's going on here? And he sees a big doll hanging in the room. And hey, that clown doll, hey, that looks like Crazy Steve, but Crazy Steve, he looked like he lost a little bit of weight. And then Itchweed starts dancing, starts doing a little shuffle for no reason, have no clue what's going on. We go to commercial. Itchweed's come back, and hey, Itchweed's still going crazy. He's got a weed whacker, he's on the compound lawn, but oh man, all too often, Genius is mistaken for crazy, and this is no different. Itchweed carves a glorious crop circle, wishing us all a happy Halloween.
What in the hell is going on?
That was Itchweed, man.
Dude.
That was Itchweed. What do you want me to say? I'm just recapping. I don't make the news. I just convey it. So we have Allie versus Laurel Van Ness. Pretty strong chance for Allie to start. The Pope is still pushing this as being a match made by Maria, even though Billy Corgan informed us earlier she has no power, so match couldn't actually be made by her. Allie gets a couple spots in, including a spot where Laurel Van Ness hit the corner and tripped over her backwards. Allie goes for a pinfall cover, doesn't get the win. There was a spot where Allie just went to throw Laurel Van Ness back into the ring, but decided instead to get a whole handful of the trunks from the back, which are not... There's not a whole lot of material there anyways. Basically gives Laurel a wedgie as she throws her back into the ring. Laurel hits a curb stomp to Allie and pins her. The whole story of the match, Allie still cannot wrestle, or she's pretending that she cannot wrestle in the ring, and Laurel Van Ness beats her pretty easily. So we go back to the Hardy compound again, and the doorbell rings. And who is at the door, Brian? If you had to guess 2 people who would be at the Hardy compound door trick-or-treating, who would it be? Any 2 people in the world.
Just the Young
2.
Bucks.
No. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump
should have known. Show
up at the door. And Senor Benjamin, he is not impressed. He says, hello, Senor Trump. Hello, Senor Clinton. Or Senor Hillary. He takes out a stun gun, and he stuns Donald Trump. Okay? So Donald Trump's laying on the ground, and then out comes my boy again, Itchweed. So Itchweed comes out. I said, oh man, hey, there's Hillary. Hey, Hillary, I sent you at least 382 emails. What happened to those emails? Matt Hardy comes out, and he starts yelling, delete, 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 as Itchweed continues to ask, hey man, what happened to them 32 emails? What happened to 382 emails I sent you? Come on, Hillary, what happened to them emails? Delete, delete, delete. Itchweed says, man, you know one of my supernatural friends? His name is Boo Radley. Boo Radley. So Boo Radley shows up from To Kill a Mockingbird. Brian, I know, I'm not making this up. Boo Radley was actually Vanguard 1 with a beard. And Vanguard 1 chases away Hillary.
I don't know what to tell you, dude.
You don't have to tell me anything. It was awesome. You should watch it. So then we have Jesse Goddard approaches Aron Rex backstage, and he is pissed about what happened earlier. He wants a return match for the grand title. Aron Rex says he'll allow it, and he continues to play with those rings underneath the tape on his right hand, right in front of Goddard's. to signify that, in fact, he is cheating there in the ring. So back at the Hardy compound, a child in a Spider-Man costume drops off a tablet, and he tells Rebby to have her husband watch it immediately. So Matt says, "This is my next premonition." And we got a countdown, 3, 2, 1. And on the tablet, Anonymous appears once again, the DCC, and they challenge the Hardys to a match next week for the tag team titles. In the back, we have Mike Bennett and Maria cutting down Cody and Brandi Rhodes, saying Brandi is 1/10 of what the first lady of professional wrestling is. Now my question is, Maria, Donald Trump, not friends. Is she still going to go by this name if Trump becomes the president?
All I know is she's getting out of wrestling, so who cares?
Me?
I don't know.
Okay.
Tom, let's keep moving.
So we have Cody and Brandi Rhodes versus the Miracle and Maria in the main event. This is the old interspecies match here. Maria has no interest in wrestling, but during the match, she pretends and wears a skimpy outfit, so I guess it's okay.
Interspecies?
It's a damn intergender match. Whatever.
There's a big fucking difference.
Is there? Some days I'm not so sure.
Wow. I'm stepping away. Go ahead.
Hey, I didn't say that males were the predominant species. Women are. So the Miracle capitalizes on some distractions by Maria to get the advantage throughout the match. I know that Maria is supposed to be the heel and it's part of the character, but I don't understand why she's scared of someone who's never been in the ring before. They mentioned that Brandi Rhodes has never wrestled. She's always been trying. She wanted to wrestle for years. Why would you be scared of somebody with no experience? Blows my mind. So Maria at one point accidentally kicks Bennett low, allows the hot tag to Brandi, so now Maria must get in there and fight. They fuck up the drop toe hold spot with Mike Bennett sitting in the corner. Brandi is supposed to drop toe hold Maria into the Miracle's crotch, but they blow that spot. They screw it up. Cody locks up, I think it's called the American Nightmare, his current submission finisher. And Bryan, I swear to God, this is the other thing on the show you need to see. Brandi Rhodes locked in the most atrocious attempt at a submission that no human has ever submitted to in their entire life. Both Miracle and Maria tap in unison. This finishing move deserves an Observer Award. I don't know for what, but it is honestly the worst attempt at a submission I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
It was a body scissors with a headlock. If that makes any sense. As Maria laid on her back and Brandi Rhodes was kind of on top of her.
Well, whatever gets the win, Tom. You know this. No?
No.
I'll look at it.
So after this, Cody and Brandi go backstage and they're shaking hands and kissing babies with people in the back before Bobby Lashley comes out of nowhere, treats him like his name is Josh Pelt in Bellator, beats him down before he leaves us with these final words from Impact. And that's, "No one comes into my house